Seafood restaurant full of mussels.
Try to keep it with my good.
One day, I'm gonna be good.
1 minute, 1 minute.
Not even on that level. That's not really a gift bag.
You get one of these?
You don't want to get a gift from that first. Let's get a show on the road, ladies and gentlemen.
Good acoustics.
Call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Buckner,
Here.
Reverend Campbell,
Here.
Mr. Hood,
Here.
Mayor Jones,
Here.
Mr. Mayo,
Here.
Vice Mayor Miller,
Here.
Mr. Saunders, Mr. Vogler,
Here?
Mr. Whittle.
Here.
Ask everyone to stand. We'll have an invocation by Councilman Vogler, followed by a pledge of allegiance.
Before we do the prayer tonight, I would just ask that we take a moment to pause in a moment of silence for Tommy Pruitt, who passed away this past week. Tommy was not only a friend of mine, but more importantly, he was a tremendous human being and wonderful community servant, whether it was through his work with the Kiwanis Club or with the Danville Life Saving Crew. Tommy was a wonderful, wonderful person, and anyone who knew him was better off for it. So if we could pause for a moment of silence before the prayer. Lord, as we work together to build your empire, let us be the light that leads the world to you. God, teach us to be good role models to the people around us, so that when they see you and your love within us, they would want to know you more and more. God, grant us patience to work together. Bring us all together as a family. Let us work together with understanding and compassion in our hearts. Let us not be rude or arrogant towards one another as we light the way to your heavenly kingdom. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Again, we want to say good evening to everyone and welcome those of you who are tuning in. We'll now have communications from visitors. Citizens who desire to speak on matters not listed on the agenda will be heard this time, and citizens who desire to speak on agenda items will be heard when the agenda item is considered. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on any item not on the agenda? Please come forward. Please state your name and your address for the record, and good evening.
My name is Yvette Mayo, and my address, actually I don't live in Virginia, but my mother does. So I'm here to speak for her. But her address is, what is that? Huh? Yes, but the address? Your address? 239 Rocky Lane, 3F apartment. So I don't know if you actually have this on your agenda or not.
Speak right into that microphone.
Really?
So
I thought I was speaking too loud.
there you go.
So I don't know if you actually have this on your agenda or not, but back in July, there should have been a petition made for that location that my mother is talking about. And it was particularly about Ash Street and entering onto Piney Forest Road and the hazard that they have there. Were you guys familiar with that?
We can continue to talk. I said city manager is shaking his head, so he's very familiar with it.
So what I wanted to do was, I wanted to follow up to see, was there a way ahead? Was there a plan for this to alleviate the hazard?
Well, may I suggest if you can hang around, we have a short agenda, meet with the city manager. That's the city manager, Ken Larkin. Next to him is deputy city manager. If you want to meet with him in a few minutes, he'll be more than happy to share with you.
Okay, in a few minutes, huh?
Yeah, we should, hopefully, we hope so. Councilman Mayo, you want to add something?
Yes, Mayor, and it's good seeing you.
Hi, Mr. Mayo.
Yes.
Nice to actually see you in person.
I had the opportunity to meet your mother.
Yes, sir.
And that was a good meeting, not only with her, but with a lot of the elderly in that community. And definitely, I'm glad to see you tonight here. And I did tell her that if ever a chance comes, could she come to council meeting, and we're glad to see you.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Councilman Campbell.
Ms. Mayo, I'm glad to meet you, but you look so much better than he does. Glad to meet you.
Oh, do
I'm a Mayo,
I
too.
think we may be related. We may be.
Well, and if your mother in a hurry tonight, the city manager will also give you his card. So I would say meet with the city manager. He may be after this is over with, or he can give you his card.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
for
you
your
so
time.
much. Thank you and your mother for
This
being.
is a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be.
Thank you and your mother so much for being here tonight. We're still in communications. Anyone else would like to speak on any item that's not on the agenda may come forward this time. Councilman Vogler.
Yes, Mayor, I would like to make a motion.
Hold on, Councilman Vogler. Come on
My
up.
apologies.
Good evening. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Good evening.
Good evening.
Running a little late here. I would just like to say, on behalf of the NAACP and the citizens of Danville, a special thanks to the Danville Police Department, especially Officer Brooks, Norma Browser. I don't know whether you all know that they gave over 1,500 families toys over the Christmas holiday. And we got a few toys left. So if you know anybody need toys, we got some. The director at the CIC Head Start called Pastor Jonathan King. They had 85 kids that was without toys. We were able to get those toys to those kids by Christmas. Danville Police Department doing a fantastic job. Officer Jeff McLaughlin, and especially thanks to Officer Sylvia Brooks and that whole team. I just had to run here and said, thank you. I'm out of breath, but I was getting on that elevator. But I was saying, thank you, because over 1,500 families, and I got so many calls that said thank you on behalf of the police department.
Thank you so much.
All
Thank
right.
you. Thank you for being
All
here.
right.
Thank you. We're still in communications for visitors. Anyone else would like to speak on any item that's on the agenda may come forward this time. Councilman Vogler.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we amend the agenda to add item E.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Campbell. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Buckner,
Aye.
Reverend Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. Hood,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Mayo,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Saunders, Mr. Vogler,
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Under consent agenda, council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Campbell. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Reverend Campbell,
Aye.
Mr. Hood,
Aye.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Mr. Mayo,
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Saunders, Mr. Vogler,
Aye.
Mr. Whittle,
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Under appointments, Vice Mayor.
Mayor, excuse me. I would, back to my page here. Like to make a recommendation that we appoint, right page, yes, a resolution appointing Brian Hood to the Danville Development Council.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Vogler. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Hood?
Aye.
Mayor Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Mayo?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller?
Aye.
Mr. Saunders? Mr. Vogler?
Aye.
Mr. Whittle?
Aye.
Mr. Buckner?
Aye.
Reverend Campbell?
Aye.
Under new business, review of general funds financials. Good evening, sir.
Mayor, good
Good
evening,
evening.
Council. In your agenda packet tonight, you should have the general fund financial results through the end of December. This is December 31st. It does mark halfway into our fiscal year 21. Just a few brief comments, and then if you have any questions, I'll be glad to try to answer those. Total revenues so far for the first 6 months were $51 million. This is down about $595,000 from last year. Most of that decrease has to do with interest rates. As you know, the interest rates have plummeted quite a bit since a year ago, so our returns on our CDs and other investments isn't quite as much as it was last year. We did budget for a decrease, but perhaps not quite so severely, but it's still not that big of concern at this point. Also, the timing of our bond issuance. A lot of times when we issue bonds, they're issued at a premium, and that is part of our interest income, and that's a timing difference. Our bonds were issued just a little bit later this year, so that will eventually show up. So that will help make up some of that ground. We have gotten through the collection period, first collection period of taxes for this fiscal year. As you know, taxes were due December 7th. So I'm happy to report that at the end of December, we did meet our 50% mark in real estate. We actually collected a little over 51% of our budgeted real estate. That's almost 1% better than we did last year at the end of December. Our delinquent real estate collections are still going strong at 57% of budget at the halfway mark. Current personal property is really just about where we expect it to be. All the categories look good, with the exception of machinery and tools. That's just a little low. I do know of one significant payment that's on its way, so that will help make up some of the ground there. We also have a new business, Morgan Olson, that was not in operation in January of last year, so this will be the first year for our opportunity to collect some taxes, machinery and tools tax from them. Of course, that is one of the shared properties with the county, but that will help as well. But I will be keeping my eye on the machinery and tools tax line this year and let you know if there's any other concerns there. Delinquent personal property collections are strong. We've actually collected about $75,000 more in delinquent personal property this year at this point than last year. On the local tax front, as I've mentioned in past months, our sales tax is performing beautifully for this fiscal year. At the end of December, we had collected about $465,000 more than last year, so nearly $500,000. We're at 53% of budget at the end of December. This will certainly help offset, as I've mentioned, some sluggishness in our meals tax and lodging. For obvious reasons, those are depressed a little bit this year. Meals tax at the end of December was at 47% of budget, so just 3 percentage points behind. However, I did note that because of the holidays, that about $95,000 of collections that normally would have made it into the month of December were processed on the very first business day of January. So that's a timing difference of about $95,000. So that's about half of our decrease from last year that will be made up or has been made up already. With lodging, we're much closer to budget. We're at 49% of budget there. The decrease from last year is only $69,000. So I think that's good considering the environment that the hotels are working in right now. Our state and other revenues are right on track. Any decreases there are timing. Perhaps some grants are coming in a little later this year than last year, that type of thing, but no concerns there. On the expenditure side, our departmental spending is down around 46% of budget, which is a good place to be at 50% through the year. Non-departmental, which is primarily our group health insurance, has crept up a little bit above budget. We're at 53%. Again, our group health insurance is completely based on the claims that are processed each year. So that does vary. It's very unpredictable. But we'll be keeping a close eye on that to make sure it doesn't need anything addressed as we go throughout the fiscal year. So in all, the general fund is performing pretty well, I think, considering just for comparison, our unassigned fund balance, which I don't like to look at that until the very end of the year. The number really doesn't mean a lot until we get to June, but you can use it to benchmark where we were last year at this time. And last year, our unassigned fund balance was $22.5 million at the end of December. This December, it's $23.5 million. So if you compare the two, we're about $1 million better off than we were a year ago at December. That's all I have for this month, Mayor, if anyone has any questions.
Any questions? Thank you so much. Thank you. Under item B, consideration of authorizing the application to the Virginia Department of Rail Public Transportation for mass transit funding for fiscal year 2021. I open the public hearing. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. Anyone who would like to speak on this agenda item may come forward this time. I close the public hearing. Council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Campbell.
Mr. Mayor, I move for adopting a resolution authorizing application by the city to the Virginia Department of Rail and Public Transportation for grants for operating and capital costs for public transportation for fiscal year 2021.
Second by Councilman Buckner. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Under item C, consideration of approval of a moral obligation with Movement Bank. Council, what's your pleasure? Councilman Buckner.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve a resolution authorizing and approving execution of a moral obligation agreement by and between the City of Danville, Virginia, and Movement Bank, a Virginia banking corporation.
Second by Councilman Saunders. Discussion of the motion. Dr. Miller.
No, I'm just wondering, I'm fine with it.
Okay, good. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Mayo.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye. Under item D, consideration of authorizing the city manager to enter into a capacity agreement for battery energy storage. Dr. Miller.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to have council approve a resolution authorizing the City of Danville, Virginia to enter into a capacity agreement for 10.6 megawatts of battery energy storage capacity to be constructed within the Danville Utility Service Territory.
Second by Councilman Hood. Discussion of the motion. Dr. Miller.
Yeah, again, Jason Gray brought this to the Utilities Commission, and this looks like a win-win situation. They would supply, the DeLorean company is going to do all the upfront cost, construction. They will put the battery capacity facility in a warehouse owned by the city at 816 Monument, and they will provide peak energy. This is a very important thing because every year we get this notice from the city, conserve during such and such an hour, you know, from 10 to 2 or 8 to 12, cut back all your utilities because they base that, the utilities companies, they base our bill on the maximum cost during that time. So the higher that is, the more your bill is. With this, we can reserve our battery storage capacity and use it during these peak times and markedly cut down our expenses. The estimate it's going to cost, each year, the first year I think it was $541,000 to the city, and over 20 years it was around $9 million. But the savings is $48 million over these 20 years. So like I said, this is a win-win for the city. And I'm really excited about this, as was the entire utility council. Thank you.
Councilman Buckner.
Yeah, Dr. Miller hit most of the high spots I wanted to, but I really want folks to focus on the savings that we're going to get from this. It's not only, the city not only saves, the city doesn't only win, everybody wins. My light bill is going to be lower. Everyone at home's light bill is going to be lower because this will service us during those peak times. And as Dr. Miller said, peak times never come at at a convenient time. It always comes when it's 12 degrees outside or 115 degrees outside, and that's what they base our rates off of. This will help, as Dr. Miller said, flatten that curve of the spike that happens during those peak times. So, Jason, that was a very wise move on your part, and you and your team, I really appreciate all the hard work that you guys are putting into this. Thank you so much. That's all, Mayor.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Aye.
Mr. Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo.
Aye.
Under item E, Councilman Vogler.
Yes, Mayor, I move we adopt a resolution of the City Council of the City of Danville, Virginia, opposing SB 1157, which proposes to mandate that all localities hold their elections in November.
Is there a second? Second by Councilman Campbell. Discussion of the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Mr. Saunders.
Aye.
Mr. Vogler.
Aye.
Mr. Whittle.
Yeah.
Buckner.
Aye.
Reverend Campbell.
Aye.
Mr. Hood.
Aye.
Mayor Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Mayo.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Miller.
Aye.
Communications, City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I wanted to make the public aware that in the coming days, there'll be the first of hopefully several vaccination events held jointly with the Health Department and Sova Health, Averett University, and others. And the information isn't quite ready to go out to the public at this point. Hopefully, it'll be going out via the Health Department soon, within the next few hours or a day, I hope, at the latest. But I want the public to be aware that these vaccination events are occurring. Look for the information. We are going to push out the information through our means to let the public know about things. It'll include links where you can sign up and register for specific times to get a vaccine at these vaccine events. We're hoping to have a well-coordinated response where people can sign up in advance, either by internet, and if you need help, find help to get you signed up on the internet, and we'll give a phone option. We're going to try to get a phone option as well if you can't get on the internet. And you could sign up for a window of time to a place where you can go get a vaccine, and then you'll be registered or pre-registered for a 28-day later period for the second of 2 vaccines that are necessary. So I want the public to be aware that this information will be coming out soon. The first event we're targeting 65 years and up. So obviously we got to follow the guidelines that are set by the health experts at the federal government, targeting the groups that are high priority, and then going through the list and getting to the people as we can. So we're going to try to do that as quickly as we can, working with our partners. And I appreciate the work of Sova Health, the hospital, of our local health department, Averett University, the county and the city all working together. Yesterday I was on a conference call for a few hours discussing this event, and we feel pretty good about it. We're pulling together in about a week's time, we hope. So we think it'll be Saturday, but the sign-up information will be coming out imminently, so please look out for that. The other thing I wanted to mention, it was mentioned during public comments, Piney Forest Road. I thought it would be helpful, as I thought about it, that the public would like to hear this kind of information. And I've shared this with council, updates on various traffic studies and things that you've had questions about, or the public's had questions about and asked you about, and you get me to look into things. The frustrating part about traffic engineering projects is that they can be painstakingly slow, and there's a reason why they're slow. We want to make sure that when we make improvements to roads that we're doing it carefully. It takes a long time to plan for a road, to build a road appropriately, and make sure it's as safe as possible. And then when you make modifications to roads, you have to, again, engineer it, make sure it's safe, because thousands of cars every day travel on these roads, and we want to make sure they're up to the standard necessary to meet the needs of the public. So as an answer to the question that was asked during public comment period, our city engineer, working with the MPO, is putting in an application for a study of Piney Forest Road from Holt Garrison, I believe several miles up, close to the Franklin Turnpike. So that will include the area of Ash Street that was asked about earlier tonight. So there's a study being done. We're going to study the entire corridor and make sure that if any improvements need to be done for safety purposes, that they can be planned for appropriately, budgeted appropriately, and then implemented appropriately. So that's kind of where we stand with it right now. It is painstakingly slow. Our understanding is that the funding would be in place in FY22, which is the fiscal year coming up in July, and then it will take some time to do the study, and then to implement any necessary changes that have to occur. So I thought it would be helpful to the public to hear a little bit about how these things happen. An event occurs, people are concerned, we try to address it, we do it in an appropriate way, but we have to be methodical about our process, get the funding in place, get the approvals from the appropriate state agencies, and then move forward from there. But it is in process to make improvements eventually.
Thank you. Deputy City Manager? Thank you. City Attorney?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. City Clerk? Roll call, please.
Yeah, I want to first thank everyone for coming out to the meeting tonight, and thank for those who came and spoke. A lot of good things happen in our city, and I'm excited about the year ahead. I appreciate the city manager and sharing the information about the vaccine and potentially events that will make it available to to folks here in the near future because it's extremely important. This vaccine, and I know some of the folks in this room have already had the opportunity to get it, and I'm looking forward to getting it as soon as I'm told I'm allowed to get it.